Three. Ring Post appeal on HitFirstBoxing.com. We in the house with Kathy Duva. Kathy, first things first, last time we met, it was Tyson Fury, Steve Cunningham fight. A situation where between you and Adamek, you guys pretty much parted way. Now you guys reunited. How did this whole situation become apart?
I wouldn't say we parted ways so much. Tomas decided his contract was up. He decided he wanted to go out and see, what else was being offered. He did. Okay. And I'm very happy that after doing that, he decided that he was happy to stay here.
Good thing right there. Now, big fight for him, Tony Grano. Now, say that they finish, Thomas wins. Who do you see him fighting next?
Well, that remains to be seen, and I don't want to speculate on that yet because he's got to look at the guy in front of him. But I do expect certainly he'll fight again by the end of the year, and it'll be a very, very important fight one way or another.
Now, the fight with Paluev, that was supposed to happen, didn't happen. Would you want that still happening?
Again, I'm not sure. I think the thing to do is to get him back in the ring with Grano, see where he is. He's had a long layoff, and then assess all the opportunities that are out there, and then we'll make a decision when we see what the competing offers look like.
Perfect. So let's get back to Cunningham. What do you see with Cunningham coming up right now? Any plans for him?
Oh yeah, we're going to bring him back by the end of the year for sure. He's a tremendous fighter. He his fight with Fury, he surprised a lot of people. Nobody expected him to knock down Tyson Fury. Everybody thought he would be weak moving up to heavyweight. Everybody thought that he was small, and I have to laugh because if you look at George Foreman's stats when he fought for the title the first time, he was exactly the same size as Steve Cunningham. Steve's not a small guy.
Oh, he's not, and he has a big heart. Yeah, big heart.
He's fun to watch. We're going to see him again, of course.
Kovalev, that whole situation with Bernard Hopkins, how did that whole situation become apart?
Well, the day before Kovalev fought, the fight had been sanctioned for the #1 position in the IBF. However, Karol Marat was already fighting Hopkins, and Karol Marat at that point was the leading available contender. So this mandatory fight wasn't going to come up for at least 9 more months, or so we thought. Karol Marat pulled out of the fight because he had visa problems the day before. Yes. And so this fight now, with no one expecting it, turned into, you become the mandatory for Bernard Hopkins. But at that time, we were already very far down the road in a negotiation with HBO to have Sergey fight Cleverly.
In England?
In England, Wales, actually, which is where Cleverly's from, on August 17th. I did have a conversation with the people over at Golden Boy to evaluate what the situation was with Hopkins. It became very obvious to me very quickly that I didn't think Bernard had any interest in fighting Sergey. In fact, had Sergey passed on the Cleverly fight, chances are Hopkins would have fought Cleverly for Cleverly's title. Sergey would have been fighting for a vacant title. Sergey said, I'd rather fight a champion to win my title. I'd rather get it done as quickly as possible.
And down the road, it's a better fight because then he'll have 2 titles for Hopkins, and that's a big fight right there.
If Hopkins wants to fight him, there's no reason why he can't, and they'll both be champions at that point.
Now, the problem is the networks. What network would you want that on? That would ever, down the road to happen?
I think we're working with HBO. I think they're very interested in Sergey, and we're very happy that they are, and we hope this to be the beginning of a beautiful, beautiful relationship.
Now, how do you see this whole situation going down with these 2 networks? I mean, these wars that are going on right now. I mean, you're like right in the middle of it, in the middle. So how do you see this whole thing going down?
See, it's happened before. There was a time, Don King, Mike Tyson, there was a time when Don King programmed Showtime, where if you wanted to fight on a Don King card, you had to give your fighter up to him. He put all the fights on Showtime. He programmed the whole network. Everybody else was fighting at HBO. I don't see this as being any different. Frankly, when Don King got that deal, it was the biggest he ever was in his career. When that deal was over, it was the beginning of the slide that he is in right now. Because unfortunately, when you do something like that, you put yourself in a corner. Wow. And they're betting that they can somehow make Showtime bigger than HBO. My feeling is Showtime's not available, so it's really not a concern of mine. God bless them. HBO is interested in my fighter. So why wouldn't I want to work with HBO? I've worked with HBO since my company's worked with HBO since the late 80s, and worked with Showtime since that long too. So beautiful. I don't want to be a pawn in anybody's dispute. I don't want to be in anybody's war. But the truth is, at the moment, the opportunities are at HBO, and I expect that's where they're going to remain.
Beautiful thing. Bye-bye Jennings, Mr. Brian Jennings. As we all know, he's with Russell Peltz, but you guys are co-promoting with him. You guys
Absolutely.
work? So what is the future with Brian right now? What do you see him down the line? Who would you want him in, who's on his radar right now?
well, everybody's on his radar right now. Jennings is a tremendous talent. He reminds me of Evander Holyfield in that he throws combinations. You know, I haven't seen a heavyweight throw combinations like that with power. Exactly. Usually they're either throwing pity-pat punches. They have no power. Right. He's got both, and he's got personality. He's got everything, and he's a lovely guy. We love working with him, and I think he's going to be part of what I believe is the beginning of the revival of the heavyweight division.
That's what we need, because the last fight with Jonathan Banks and Seth Mitchell, that was pretty much a little black eye into the heavyweight division. The heavyweight division, I wanted to reactivate, come back, and there's so many talent out there, much talent. Like, you know, even Deontay Wilder, and you don't even see him on the networks out there. Yeah. He's a talented fighter. You know, it's like they want to go behind the hype, behind someone, you know, say a football player or someone that got something, but I think they need to go for the talent. The talent out there is the most important thing.
There's a lot of talent out there, and it's all, at this point, very evenly matched, and we have, with the NBC Sports Network, been able to exploit that, and we've had many heavyweight fights, and they've all been very good. So we can't take one fight and damn the whole division for it. We did not make that fight, but we have a lot of tremendous fights that we are making, and I encourage people to watch, because I believe that particularly the casual fans, the big guys intrigue them. They want to see them. They want to see what they do. They are different than the lower weights. They just are. And you know, if you've ever been at a heavyweight fight, if you've ever sat there ringside and seen the difference in the way they hit each other and the force behind it, and it's truly a different sport. And I think there's room for both sports. And the heavyweight division is long due for a resurgence.
In the heavyweight division, we have Mike Molo and Artur Szpilka rematch. You know a little about Artur Szpilka. What do you see this fight? How do you see that one going down, the rematch?
I think it's just going to be just as crazy as the first one. Right? Who wouldn't want to see that? That's the point.
Good one.
Watch.
Very good. Kathy, a couple last words for your supporters worldwide.
Oh, God. Okay, so August 3rd, watch NBC Sportsnet. Also available in other parts of the world. You will get to see it on many other networks if you're not in America. And, of course, August 17th, Sergey Kovalev is going to become the light heavyweight champion of the world.
In Wales.
In Wales. Don't miss it.
Always a pleasure. Thank you, Kathy.
Same
Keep doing your work.